Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today is my witchy review. And for the first time, I'm actually going to be doing a review for a fiction book. So the book is entitled Of Fear and Faith. It's a trilogy, and it's written by N.D. Jones. Now, I don't have the book per se. I just have the Kindle, my Kindle Fire. So that's how I read this book. I read all three books on this. So the thumbnail, of course, is going to be the book, but just to let you know, and I have links in the description for you to actually go in and find the book. So I picked this particular book for a reason. One, I wanted to support a Black author, to be perfectly honest, preferably female, because I am. It is a genre that I find interesting because this is what I'm writing and this is what I like to read about paranormal witches and shapeshifters and all that sort of stuff. I find that interesting. Although so far I'm not writing about shapeshifters, witches, yes. But anyway, but there are some supernatural stuff going on. Anyway, but yeah, I like reading about this sort of stuff. And they are referring in the book to goddesses and gods that are, I'm familiar with, talking about, well, I don't want to give it away. But anyway, they're talking about the ones we know, so I find that interesting. So anyway, I'm just going to briefly read a little bit of the description and then I'm going to get into my review of the book. Actually, I'm talking about all three, but anyway. Not too many spoilers either. So you can watch this if you hadn't read it yet. I'm not going to tell too much about the ending. But anyway, it's an African-American paranormal romance. It is a romance, first off. So in a world where nothing is ever as it seems, the seeds of love take root on the precipice of chaos, danger, and a great destiny. In the shadow of an ancient prophecy, two individuals will be drawn together to meet a dangerous calling or die trying. For legends tell of a powerful fire witch and a legendary shapeshifter who will one day rid the world of the wrath of the water witch of legend and restore peace and balance to the world. However, Sonora Williams and FBI Special Agent Asifa Berber, their destinies will not be so easily won, as fear and faith will ultimately determine their fates. In the heat of battle and the chill of prophecy, Sonora and Asifa will weather the dual storms of lust and love. Are they prepared for the intoxicating swirl of danger and attraction? Can they overcome their fears of such a powerful prophecy? In the face of their foes, these legendary warriors must embrace their roles as heroes side by side and defend humanity against the coming doom. So, first off, honestly, it was a little slow in the beginning. Real talk. Book one, a little slow. Stay with it. A little slow, but stay with it. Now, if I understand, this book I think was published in 2016, so why am I talking about it now? I'm just finding out about it. Two, the rest of the books came afterwards, book 2 and 3. By the way, book 2, which is linked as well, is of Beast and Bonds, and book 3 is of Deception and Divinity. Okay, here's what I want to say. I picked this because, one, I wanted to do some witchy fiction, and two, I liked the theme. I think it's worth reading. I think, again, I talk about watching TV shows. I reviewed The Good Witch. I am going to want to review anything that's basically even kind of remotely to do with witchcraft, but if it adds more layers that I can connect with, okay, so they're African American. Okay, so, they speak of various orishas and things like that. Okay, mixed in with fantasy. In the same way that people do other mythology about the Greek and Roman gods, you hear stories about that, and we just accept them. Why not this? Why not African gods, right? So it was really... Man, it was really good. When it did pick up, it picked up and it kept me intrigued. When I finished book 1, I could not wait to devour book 2 and 3. The other thing I just want to point out is the romance. Okay, so the romance is hot and heavy. I said it's so hot and heavy, I'm going to film this in my bedroom because it was that hot. So don't be surprised. It's definitely, very adult, just saying. Books 1, 2, and 3. You're not going to get all that in the beginning, but it's there. I felt like there were some things not so great. I did wonder how much, I could tell you just from the description that at some point, I don't know if the rest of the humans, us regular muggles, know that these things are existing and that all these things are happening. The assumption is that they do not know. However, I thought the book could have gave me a little bit more of that. Like, I felt like certain events were happening, and other people would have picked up on it. So anyway, that was just something that kind of stood out to me, but that was pretty much it. My only negatives were that it was a little slow in the beginning and just that lingering question of, nobody's seeing this or hearing this. And, it's not being reported and things like that, but it's cool. I thought there would be some loose ends because I was reading it and I was like, why they introduce this character in this situation? And I was reading for a while and I never saw or heard about that character again. But the more I stayed with it, she tied it all up. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. Now that makes sense. I kept wondering about why did I read this other stuff? I was waiting for when we were going to come back to it. She did. She came back to it. So that was one of those things where it was, I guess, just me, the reader, being impatient. I chilled, continued to stay in the story, and it all made sense. So there was no loose ends. Honestly, I didn't feel like anything was a loose end. They came back and they wrapped everything up in the third book, as far as I was concerned. It was written very well. When I looked at the reviews for this book, I looked on Amazon and looked on Goodreads. One of the things that I noticed is that people put comments like, oh, there were no typos. This was written very well. Like a lot of that, like, oh, it was written very well. I read reviews on other books. I read often. I read reviews on other books. I never see that many people commenting in a review about how well written something is and without typos. Yeah, I see that sometimes, but I don't see it this as often as I did when I was going through the review of this book, which lets me know that for African American authors, Israel is messed up that people are like this. The way that they even review the book is different. Like, just review the damn book. Really, guys? Anyway, so that kind of annoyed me a little bit going through the reviews about it. And I've read the reviews after I've read the book. And I like to do that. I don't know. That's a me thing. But anyway, I did that. And I was just like, why are we so pressed? It's kind of like saying, oh, wow, you're so well spoken. You speak so well. Like, you're shocked. That sort of thing. To me, it was the same thing. Like, this is your review of her book, saying there are no typos. And I can, like I said, I'll deal with somebody saying it maybe once or twice. But, like, there was a lot of comments that just kept reflecting on that. And that was ridiculous to me. But anyway. And they were black women who commented a lot of times. But we ain't going to get into that. That's a whole other conversation because I found that very strange. But you know what? They drinking their own the crazy Kool-Aid and, keeping craziness alive. But anyway, I highly recommend the book. I don't want to make this a long video and make it a long review because I want you to read the book. So the links again are in the description. Check it out. Again, this is Mika Lee Taken. And please like and subscribe, share, and let me know in the comments if you've read the book or if you're going to get the book, and let me know what you think after you read it. All right, bye-bye. Thanks.